It's 2 a.m. The house is silent, you're warm, you're comfortable, your spouse is sleeping peacefully beside you, but your eyes snap open, wide awake, and you know with absolute certainty that falling back asleep is going to be a battle. Maybe you'll toss and turn for an hour, maybe two. Maybe you'll just lie there staring at the ceiling, watching the clock tick closer to sunrise, knowing that tomorrow is going to be exhausting before it even begins. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's what most people don't realize. If you think waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. is just a normal part of getting older, I have news for you. It's not. And if you think the solution is sleeping pills or melatonin or some complicated sleep routine, I'm here to tell you that's simply not the whole story. What's actually waking you up at 2 a.m. has almost nothing to do with your sleep schedule and everything to do with something happening inside your body that you can fix starting tonight. This isn't just about feeling tired the next day. When you consistently wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep, you're not just losing sleep. You're losing your energy. You're losing your sharpness. You're losing your patience with the people you love. Your immune system weakens, your blood pressure climbs, your risk of falls increases because you're exhausted and unsteady during the day. A 2021 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors with chronic sleep disruption have a 43% higher risk of serious falls compared to those who sleep through the night. This isn't just an annoyance. This is stealing years from your life and joy from your days. But here's the good news. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the real reason your body is waking you up at 2 a.m. And I'm going to give you 5 simple science-backed techniques you can use starting tonight to fix it. Some of these take just seconds. One of them you can do right there in bed without even getting up. And the most powerful technique I'll save for last. It acts like a reset button for your entire nervous system. No pills required, no expensive gadgets, nothing complicated, just your body, working the way it was designed to work. Ready to sleep through the night again? Let's fix this together. Before we get to the solutions, you need to understand what's actually happening inside your body at 2 a.m. Because once you understand the mechanism, the fixes will make perfect sense. Here's what's going on. Around 2 to 3 a.m., your body hits the lowest point in its natural temperature cycle. Your core body temperature drops, and when that happens, your stress hormone cortisol begins to rise. Now, cortisol gets a bad reputation, but it's not the enemy. In fact, cortisol is supposed to rise in the early morning hours to help you wake up naturally. That's normal. That's healthy. But here's the problem. As we get older, especially after 60, this cortisol rise can become exaggerated. Instead of a gentle, gradual increase, your cortisol spikes. And when cortisol spikes too sharply, it triggers a cascade of reactions in your body. Your heart rate increases slightly, your breathing becomes more shallow, your blood sugar rises, and all of these changes together do one thing. They wake you up. A 2020 study led by Dr. Rebecca Robbins at Harvard Medical School examined this exact phenomenon in adults over 60. The research team measured cortisol levels throughout the night in 2 groups. One group of healthy sleepers and one group of chronic early wakers. The results were striking. The group that consistently woke at 2 or 3 a.m. showed cortisol spikes that were 68% higher than the healthy sleepers. Their bodies were essentially hitting a panic button in the middle of the night. But here's what makes this even more complicated. The cortisol spike isn't the only factor. There's a second mechanism at play. During deep sleep, your brain produces something called adenosine. Think of adenosine like a sleep debt collector. The longer you're awake during the day, the more adenosine builds up in your brain, making you feel sleepy. When you finally go to bed, your brain starts clearing out that adenosine. By 2 a.m., much of it has been cleared. And if your sleep isn't deep enough or if your cortisol is spiking, your brain can misinterpret the reduced adenosine as a signal that you've had enough sleep, even though you haven't. So you've got 2 problems working together, an exaggerated cortisol spike and a misreading of your brain's sleep signals. The good news? Both of these can be reset, and that's exactly what we're about to do. Technique number 5, the temperature anchor. Let's start with the foundation. This first technique is all about controlling that cortisol spike by stabilizing your core body temperature. Remember, your body temperature drop is what triggers the cortisol response in the first place. So if we can keep your body temperature stable, we can prevent that exaggerated spike. Here's what you do. About an hour before bed, take a warm bath or shower. Not hot, warm. around 104 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Stay in for 10 to 15 minutes. When you get out, your body will naturally begin to cool down. And here's the key. That cooling process mimics the natural temperature drop your body experiences during sleep, but in a controlled, gradual way. A 2019 study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews analyzed data from over 5,000 participants and found that bathing 90 minutes before bed improved sleep quality by up to 36% and significantly reduced early morning wakings. The warm water dilates your blood vessels, particularly in your hands and feet. When you get out, heat radiates from these areas, cooling your core temperature gradually, rather than in a sharp drop. This smooth temperature transition prevents the cortisol overreaction. But there's a second part to this technique. When you get into bed, keep your bedroom cool. Between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. And here's the pro tip. Use breathable cotton sheets and keep your feet uncovered or wear light socks. Your feet are one of your body's primary heat regulation zones. By keeping them slightly cooler, you help your body maintain stable temperature throughout the night without triggering that cortisol alarm. If you wake up at 2 a.m. anyway, don't panic. This is where the 5-second reset comes in, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let me show you the next technique that works hand in hand with temperature control. This next method directly addresses cortisol by giving your body the raw materials it needs to regulate stress hormones naturally. And it's simpler than you might think. Magnesium. Specifically, magnesium glycinate, taken about 30 minutes before bed. Now, I know what you're thinking, another supplement. But hear me out, because this isn't just any supplement. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, and one of its most important jobs is regulating cortisol. As we age, our magnesium levels naturally decline. By age 60, studies show that up to 50% of seniors are deficient in magnesium. And when you're deficient, your body can't properly regulate cortisol production. That's when you get those middle-of-the-night spikes. A 2012 study led by Dr. James Penland at the USDA Human Nutrition Research Center investigated magnesium supplementation in older adults with sleep disturbances. The research team gave one group 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed and compared them to a control group taking a placebo. After 8 weeks, the magnesium group reported a 52% reduction in nighttime wakings and significantly improved sleep quality. Even more impressive, their cortisol measurements showed a much more stable pattern throughout the night. Here's why magnesium glycinate specifically works so well. The glycinate form is highly absorbable and doesn't cause digestive issues like other forms of magnesium can. It crosses the blood-brain barrier easily, where it binds to GABA receptors. GABA is your brain's main calming neurotransmitter. When magnesium activates these receptors, it creates a natural calming effect that counteracts cortisol's arousing properties. The recommended dose is 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Start with 200 milligrams and increase if needed. You should notice a difference within 3 to 5 days, though full effects may take 2 weeks as your body's magnesium stores replenish. Pro tip. Take your magnesium with a small piece of fruit or a spoonful of honey. The natural sugars help with absorption and provide a tiny bit of glucose that stabilizes blood sugar through the night, which further reduces cortisol spikes. Now we're getting to the techniques you can use right at 2 a.m. when you wake up. This is the 5-second reset I promised you. And it's powerful because it works instantly. When you wake at 2 a.m., your body is in a state of mild stress. Your nervous system has shifted from parasympathetic, which is rest and digest mode, to sympathetic, which is fight or flight mode. That cortisol spike has essentially told your body there's a threat. There isn't, of course, but your body doesn't know that. The fastest way to switch back to parasympathetic mode is through your breath, specifically through what's called the physiological sigh. This technique was studied extensively by Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford University and has been shown to be the fastest way to reduce stress and anxiety in real time. Here's exactly how you do it. The moment you wake at 2 a.m., while you're still lying in bed, take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs about 80% full. Then, without exhaling, take a second, shorter inhale through your nose to completely fill your lungs to capacity. This double inhale reinflates the small air sacs in your lungs called alveoli, which partially collapse during sleep. Now, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth. Make this exhale as long as possible. Aim for at least twice as long as your inhale. So if your double inhale takes 4 seconds total, exhale for 8 seconds or longer. Repeat this pattern 3 to 5 times. That's it. 5 seconds per cycle. Within 15 to 30 seconds total, you'll feel a shift. Your heart rate will slow. Your body will feel heavier and more relaxed. And most importantly, your cortisol will begin to drop back down. The science behind this is fascinating. Those double inhales expand your lungs fully, which signals to your vagus nerve, the main nerve of your parasympathetic system, that you're safe. The long exhale further activates the vagus nerve by increasing carbon dioxide in your bloodstream, which paradoxically has a calming effect on your brain. I'm going to show you 2 more techniques in just a second, and the final one might be the most important. But first, I have a small favor to ask. If you are tired of waking up at 2 a.m., exhausted and frustrated, please click that subscribe button and give this video a like. Why? Not for my ego, but because there are millions of seniors out there struggling with this same issue, thinking they're alone, thinking this is just what getting old means. When you like this video, YouTube shows it to them. You might help someone get their first full night's sleep in months. So please hit that button and let's fix this together. Done. Thank you. Now let's continue. This technique addresses what happens after you use the breathing reset. Because here's the truth. Even after you calm your body down with breathing, your mind might start racing. You might start thinking about tomorrow's appointments, or replaying yesterday's conversation, or worrying about something you can't control. And the more you think, the more awake you become. This is where most people make a critical mistake. They try to force themselves back to sleep. They tell themselves, I need to sleep. I have to sleep. And that very effort creates more stress, more cortisol, and less sleep. It's a vicious cycle. Instead, you need to redirect your mind to something that's absorbing enough to stop the racing thoughts, but boring enough that it doesn't keep you awake. The technique I'm about to share has been used by cognitive behavioral therapists for decades and is now backed by substantial research. It's called the alphabet game, but with a specific twist. Here's how it works. Pick a category, let's say animals. Now, starting with the letter A, think of an animal for each letter of the alphabet. But here's the key. You must visualize the animal in detail. Picture what it looks like. Imagine its movement. Think about its habitat. If it's a bear, picture a grizzly bear lumbering through a forest. See the trees, hear the rustling leaves, feel the cool air. The visualization component is crucial because it occupies the same parts of your brain that would otherwise be running through your to-do list or worrying about problems. But because the task is ultimately trivial and repetitive, it doesn't generate the arousal that would keep you awake. A 2018 study published in Behavior Research and Therapy tested this exact technique in adults with chronic insomnia. Participants who used the alphabet visualization game fell back asleep an average of 11 minutes faster than those who didn't. Even more impressive, 73% reported feeling less anxious about being awake, which further facilitated sleep. Other categories that work well include cities, foods, occupations, or historical figures. The key is choosing something with enough variety to keep your mind engaged, but not so exciting that it stimulates you. Avoid categories related to your work or current stressors. Pro tip: if you get stuck on a letter, don't fight it. Just move on to the next one. The point isn't to complete the alphabet. The point is to occupy your mind until sleep naturally returns. Most people don't make it past the letter M. Now we come to the final and perhaps most important technique. This one addresses that second mechanism I mentioned earlier. The adenosine problem. Remember, by 2 a.m., your brain has cleared much of the sleep pressure that built up during the day. If you're not careful, you can actually train your brain to see 2 a.m. as a wake-up time rather than the middle of the night. This technique prevents that. And it might sound counterintuitive at first, but stay with me because the science is solid. If you've been awake for 20 minutes and nothing is working, get out of bed. I know, that's the opposite of what you want to do. But here's why it's critical. Your brain makes powerful associations between locations and states. If you spend too much time lying in bed awake, your brain starts to associate your bed with wakefulness rather than sleep. This is called conditioned arousal, and it's one of the main reasons insomnia becomes chronic. Get out of bed. Go to another room. Keep the lights dim. No screens, no bright lights. Dim is key because even moderate light exposure will suppress melatonin and make falling back asleep even harder. Sit in a comfortable chair and do something genuinely boring. Read something dry and technical. Do a simple puzzle. Fold laundry. Avoid anything stimulating or enjoyable. Stay there until you feel genuinely sleepy again, not just tired. Sleepy. You'll know the difference. Your eyelids will feel heavy. You might yawn. Your thoughts will start to drift. That's when you return to bed. A 2017 study led by Dr. Colleen Carney at Ryerson University tested this stimulus control technique in chronic insomniacs. The results were remarkable. After 4 weeks, participants reduced their time awake in the middle of the night by an average of 38 minutes and reported significantly higher sleep quality. Even more important, they stopped fearing the 2 a.m. wake up because they had a plan that worked. Here's what makes this technique so powerful. By getting out of bed, you preserve your bed as a sleep sanctuary. You break the anxiety cycle. And you allow adenosine to rebuild slightly, creating new sleep pressure that makes falling back asleep easier and deeper. Pro tip. Keep a designated awake chair in another room with everything you need already there. A boring book, dim lighting, maybe a blanket. This removes decision-making when you're groggy at 2 a.m. and makes the technique easier to follow consistently. So let's recap your complete system for sleeping through the night. You have the temperature anchor using a warm bath an hour before bed and keeping your bedroom cool to prevent the cortisol spike. You have the cortisol buffer taking 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate 30 minutes before bed to stabilize stress hormones naturally. You have the breathing reset, using the double inhale physiological sigh for just 5 seconds when you wake to instantly calm your nervous system. You have the cognitive redirect, using the alphabet visualization game to occupy your racing mind without stimulating it. And you have the sleep pressure reset, getting out of bed after 20 minutes to preserve your bed as a sleep sanctuary and rebuild natural sleepiness. Listen, I know it's frustrating. Getting old isn't for the faint of heart. But your body is amazing. It can adapt, it can heal, it can learn new patterns, even over 60. You're not broken. Your body just needs the right support and the right techniques to do what it was designed to do: sleep. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, seeing the sunlight streaming through your window, and realizing with joy and relief that you slept through the entire night. No 2 a.m. wake up. No frustration, no exhaustion. Just peaceful, restorative sleep. That is possible for you, and it can start tonight. Don't just watch this video and forget it. Try these techniques tonight. Start with the temperature anchor and the magnesium. If you wake at 2 a.m., use the breathing reset immediately. That's your first line of defense. If needed, add the cognitive redirect. And if you're still awake after 20 minutes, use the sleep pressure reset. Pick even just 2 of them to start with. Maybe the breathing reset and the temperature anchor. See how you feel. Notice the difference. Your body will thank you. If you found this helpful, please remember to subscribe and share this video with a friend who might be struggling with the same issue. Let's help everyone get a good night's rest. Thousands of seniors have found this video life-changing, and the next video on our channel addresses another critical sleep issue that could be affecting you without you even realizing it. I highly recommend you watch it. Click to keep going. Sleep well.